Feeling better? Here. All right. Yes, I still have the little hack. So, all right. Let's see if you guys can hear me and see me, and see if my computer pops up, and we'll get the show on the road here. All right. Denise, humor is important. Yes. God knows, considering we're living in a joke. All right. Undercover, Jacob, Healthy Disrespect, Pennsylvania Mama Bear, Russell, Carrie. Cool. You guys can see me. Anybody else? Or is that going to do it? Okay. Lorna, Anna, Fastball. Good. Okay. Cool. Y'all can see me. Happy Tuesday, guys. All right. So, first off, we got to say congratulations to Prep Rebel for his new Bud Light series of beer cans, celebrating 50 years of knowing which bathroom to use. Uh, Yeah, you guys are in live form tonight. We've gone past the happy birthday stuff, right? So, all right. So the fun stuff in the world today and around here. I saw somebody asked how Mrs. P is feeling. She is better. She's not 100%. She's probably 75, 80 at this point. I mean, good enough. We got about 60 flowers planted today. So, still working on the backyard and things like that. And she was able to put in a couple hours work by her choice. I didn't force her. So she's feeling better. Still not 100%, but I'm about 95%, so that's good. Like I said, you heard the hack there, but so we're okay in regards to that. But that was pretty much the extent of it, just more planting. We're trying to get everything planted by the end of May. I think all I've got left in my vegetable gardens are my lima beans, my squash, my pickling cucumbers, my cucumbers, and my sweet potatoes. I think that's all that's still got to go in. Put in tomatoes over the weekend. It's supposed to be in the 80s here this week, so we're okay. We're already past our last frost date, so I figure I'm good. But yes, so that was it. So in the world of stupidity, in other words, Joe's America, if you guys didn't see, Trump got convicted, I guess, if you will, today of, was it sexual assault or whatever, on that fake story about the woman who said he supposedly raped her, in Berghoff's or wherever the store was. I mean, try getting an impartial jury in New York City against Donald Trump. You can't, okay? Guaranteed it's a crock of shit. When the accuser can't remember the day, the month, the year in which this happened, but miraculously, she has a book coming out, and he destroyed my reputation. Well, then why haven't you done anything about it for 30 years? Because it's somewhere around 1996. Okay. You know why she can't come up with an exact time, because then that would give Trump all the chance in the world to go, that couldn't happen. I was in Italy. I was in Scotland. I was in California, whatever it would be. No, can't do that. So it'll go to appeal. Inevitably, it'll get overturned. And the funny part is the early polls after the verdict, Trump's numbers went up. Yeah, because like Mrs. P said, even the women out there are getting sick and tired of all these, this happened to me 30 years ago. I can't remember any of the facts. Yeah, okay, the women are all going, yeah, for those people that were actually assaulted here recently, all you're doing is making it worse for them, because there's so many lies coming out that when it actually happens, people don't believe them. Chicken Little syndrome. So that was the one piece of stupidity today. Or the other good one, see Lori Lightfoot, still mayor of Chicago, declared a state of an emergency because of the influx of immigrants, because now Chicago can't handle being a sanctuary city just like New York can't. Okay, so it's now a state of emergency that they have too many illegals coming into the city and the city can't handle it. Texas is like, hold my beer. Okay, that was it. But the best one today, which actually a piece of good news, the Olympics, not that anybody watches them anymore because it's all a NBC commercial. The Olympics announced today that transgenders can only participate in their gender of birth. Good. Finally, somebody woke up and says, you know what? No. we'll see what happens. Because basically the rest of the world is like, this ain't happening. The United States is the only one stupid enough to believe that a man in a dress is actually a woman. So, yeah. So that was the extent of the excitement. It's been uneventful. You know, I know I've got a few emails. It's like, what? No noon video today? And it's one of those, if there's nothing really going on, you know, I mean, I could put up some BS video and say, go buy more food. Okay, I think you guys don't need to waste your time doing that, watching a video like that. So I'm not going to put it up. If there's something that's important, I'll tell you. If there's nothing that at least I think is worthy of getting out, I'm not going to waste your time. You got other things to do, like planting stuff, getting stuff, organizing stuff, learning stuff, doing whatever. My theory has always been, if it's not worth doing, don't do it. Okay. I'm not here to waste your time or anything. I know there's so many people that are like, oh my God, I've got to put out videos because that way I'll get more views and more clicks and yada yada yada. And I'm like, okay, I'd rather give you quality information and value your time than, just try to waste it. So that's just my theory. Sorry, that's it. So if anybody's wondering why, it's not that I'm uber busy, which I am, but it's just there's not a whole lot that, I mean, do I really need to make, how does Trump getting it convicted today affect your prepping? It doesn't. So that's the reason there's no video. So, all right. So that was the day in the life. Here is what we've got going on. I hope you guys watched the video today, this morning, about checking out your banks. I know a lot of people have asked about that. How do you go about doing it? And of course, there's always the naysayers. There was somebody in there saying, oh, I'm an auditor for credit unions and we don't pay attention to this or whatever. And that's fine. Okay. If you don't want to pay attention, but it's better than nothing. This is the thing. That's what people don't realize. Oh, I don't pay attention to that. Well, great. Maybe the rest of us should, because we aren't auditors for banks and can go in and look, so we need to take information that we can get from third parties. Sometimes people need to stop and think. It's like, hey, everybody doesn't have the same access that I do, or the same experience that I do, or whatever it would be. Engage brain before putting mouth in gear. I don't know. Just a thought. All right, so let's get into Q&A here. As usual, guys, if you are new here, welcome. If you are a seasoned vet, welcome. Thank you to all my moderators again for being here, taking time out of their day to sit around and be the police. We're not defunding the police. As usual, if you guys have a question for me, please put it in all caps. Of course, I encourage everybody to have conversations in the chat and watch the chat for answers to your questions, because I don't have them all, and somebody may have a better answer than me, or a different one. I mean, there is no single answer to every question. So, take what you can get, figure it out. I mean, a lot of you guys have asked me about electroculture, and I know Danny's talking about it, and that's great. I don't know enough about it to answer questions on it. That's why I defer to somebody else. I'm learning that from them too, to see how it works. So, that's kind of the whole point of doing this. We all watch different things to learn different things and share different information. Nobody's got all the answers, but between all of us, we probably do. So if you got a question, I don't care what the topic is, please ask. Hopefully I have an answer. In that being said, the only thing I do require of everybody, keep it civil, keep it polite, put your nice hat on. If you want to be a pain in the ass, please leave, okay? Because if you don't want to leave on your own, we'll have you leave on our accord. So that would be about it. All right, so let's get into some questions here, and let me get all the way to the top, and we'll see what you guys want to talk about. We'll go from there. Okay, 5 by 5 equals 25. There you go. Okay, KP Tiger, what are my thoughts on a water distiller? Great idea. Okay. Any way that you can purify water, and there are a whole bunch of them. I mean, whether it's reverse osmosis or electrolysis or distilling or anything like that, any way you can purify water is going to be a good thing to have. It's the people who go, "I'm just going to drink it as it comes out of the pond." That ain't a good idea, you know. So yes, anything that you can do to clean water is a good thing. You know, remember, one is none, two is one, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Have a couple of different options. Hey, Pinball, what would I plant along a fence line that gets sun? Okay, so I guess I'd love to see more questions, more detail on the question. You know, chain link fence, wooden fence, stone fence, you know, masonry or whatever it would be. I'm going to kind of guess that it's chain link or something. I would probably go with something along the lines of like raspberry bushes or something. A, because they're fine with the sun, but B, it also gives you an added piece of security because if somebody hops that fence and lands in a raspberry bush, uh, that's not going to be a fun day. And of course, then it's also providing you some sort of food. So it's again one of those things I say hidden in plain sight. It's got multiple purposes. You know, looks pretty, nobody pays attention to it. You're out picking raspberries and it keeps the bad guys out. That would be my suggestion. Uh, Nani D, what's a good snake repellent besides a pew pew? Well, you get a mongoose. Honestly, I don't know what would be a good snake repellent. You know, something. I mean, keep the grass cut short. That would be a good one. You know, uh, snakes like cover tall grass, things like that. So, I mean, if you've got your grass short, you'll pretty much keep your snakes away. Da, 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 da. Okay, whole lot of hellos. Autumn West. What am I reading right now? I'm reading Patriots by John Wesley Rawls. I've mentioned Patriots to you before. It's a good book. I am not reading anything at the moment. I haven't picked up a book probably in a couple of months, just because as long as it's daylight, we're pretty much doing something. And by the time daylight's done, so am I. You know, it's eat dinner, answer some emails, whatever it is, hit the pillow and go to sleep. There's no wintertime's more reading. It's like, okay, it's dark, it's 6 o'clock, you know, I can sit back and read a book. Now it's like, all right, it's dark, it's 8:45, and I'm about done for the day because I got to get up at 4:30. So, Christian Prepper, I thought Lightfoot was voted out. She was, but they haven't done the change of administration as of yet. It's, you know, no different than like when we have our elections in November for president. You know, the new president doesn't come in until January. So, let's see. Judy Boer, you do not forget the date or time you were raped. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. This woman is making up this story, and there's no way in the world there's an impartial jury in New York. I mean, I guarantee you, if anybody was able to get an honest answer out of the jurors, all 12 of them had in their mind Trump was guilty before the first words in court were ever spoken. Uh, Educated and informed, south of Houston here. How do I prepare for the upcoming invasion this week? Yeah, we're 2 days from the end of Title 42, and you're going to have all those people in Texas and Mexico, Arizona, California. There, you know, 700,000 people sitting on the border waiting to come in. Uh, you make it very well known somewhere that you are not a sanctuary property, you know, and if they don't like it, they better know how to dance. Let's just leave it that way. You know, I wouldn't have any hesitation whatsoever walking out on the front porch and racking a shotgun if I saw somebody on my front yard. It's like either you leave now or you leave never. That would be the answer. Sorry, my property. Get the F off. Wanda Anthony, I wish some other content creators would abstain from posting when they have nothing to say. It's just me. It's again, like I said, I'm not gonna ramble and waste my time if there's nothing, and I'm not gonna try to waste your time. It that's just me. If there's important stuff, I want to talk about it. Okay. If there's when I'm sitting there, going, what should I talk about? Gee, I gotta find something. What should I talk about? That's when you go, there's nothing to talk about. Don't bother. You know. I mean, I can usually find something that's important, or sometimes something that's fun. But I'm not gonna. If I've got a strain to find something, that's the first signal. It's like, okay, you don't need to make video. There's nothing worth talking about. Let's see. It's me. Tomorrow should be newsworthy with the release of the payment docs on a certain potato family. Oh yes, I got a kick out of the uh, stuff this afternoon after the meeting with Kevin McCarthy, and Joe says, "Well, we're not going to default. We're not a deadbeat nation." Like, well, really, Joe? As a Biden, you're certainly a deadbeat family. Ask Hunter's daughter, but Joe's not got to get it through his thick head. He ain't getting his way, because here's the issue with this: if McCarthy caves, forget it. Joe's reelected. Okay. If McCarthy doesn't cave, and I don't care how bad the economy gets, it's all on the Democrats because the Republicans put up a plan and Joe refused to sign it. So I mean, this is balls to the wall time. It's like shit or get off the pot. But yes, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow because they're getting closer and closer and closer to indicting Hunter. I guess his former business partner is now trying to make a deal to avoid prison time. So yeah, it's the walls are closing in. Still be interesting to see how. The thing that gets me more than anything else. Why the hell hasn't Joe been impeached yet? I'm sick of all these freaking investigations. They've got so much damn evidence on him already. Let the investigations keep going and do the impeachment at the same time. We don't need this. We're going to impeach him 2 weeks before his term's up. I don't care. Get him out now. The guy is corrupt. The guy has committed treason 92 times already. Jackie Perez, have I heard anything new on Pakistan? I haven't heard anything in the news on Pakistan. Susan Lathrop, do I need to dry out coffee grounds before mixing them in? Okay, no, you don't. But here's the thing. If you're going to, I make a single cup of coffee. I've got one of these, it's not a Keurig, it's one of these things where you pour in your own coffee grounds, but you make 1 cup of coffee. I have 2 cups of coffee a day. So I'm not making a lot of coffee grounds. So in order for me to store them, I need to dry them out because if I store them and they're wet, they're going to mold. All right. So you dry them out. That way I can store them and they're fine. You store them wet, they mold, right? If you're going to take them straight from your coffee pot and go put them around your roses or around your evergreens or something like that, no, you don't need to dry them out at all. If you're going to go dump them in the compost pile or put them straight in the garden, yeah, no, you don't need to dry them out at all. You're fine. The reason I dry them is 2 tablespoons of coffee. I'm not going to run out to my garden every morning with 2 tablespoons of coffee and go, okay, I did something worthwhile. Guys, can you still see me, hear me? No, I don't want to stop streaming. You gotta be kidding me.